Hi, buddy. I was reading an article on The Blaze, and it was about this upcoming debate on February 4th between Ken Ham and Bill Nye, you know, the science guy. And in the article he said, you know, I want to argue things from a rational standpoint as a mechanical engineer. And you know, and it struck me that how blind these atheists really are. Creation is a mechanical design. The cosmos moves according to a function and a purpose. I can look at my body just like I can walk out in the garage and look at my sister's vehicle and see form, function, design. I am a walking biological created machine. I have a heating and cooling system. I have the blood that transports oxygen and nutrients. I have an intake, I have an outtake. My nervous system is based upon electricity, electric signals being sent back and forth from the nerves. I have a computer in my head. I can see, I can smell, I can taste, I can touch. It's a mechanical model. My body is a biologically encoded through DNA biological model. It's mechanical. I have form, function, and design. No different than that car out there, except that this has a soul contained within it. You know, and I made the comment, you know, Bill Nye is probably one of those guys, you know, debating panspermia and stuff, that's going to, when the fallen angels show up as aliens, he's going to fall right on their knees before them and say, yes, see, this is it. You guys provided the spark, and we evolved from there. You are gods. We are gods. We are part of the... It's going to be crazy. These people are so blind. How they can order, you know, and that car out there in the garage has a binary system for a computer. I have a DNA, which is a biological, but it's like 5,000 times more complex than a binary code. I'm an encoded being. My blueprint was written. They just don't get it. And they probably won't either. True, I believe many millions of people will come to believe upon the Jesus Christ of these scriptures after the rapture, having seen the rapture, and having, because, you know, people like us moved by the Spirit are telling them, okay, now you see the rapture. Now once you see that, this is going to happen next. You're going to see 7-year tribulation, you're going to see wars, you're going to see Israel being attacked, you're going to see all these signs and prophecies given by God, and you're most likely going to see aliens show up pretending to be gods. I mean, that's the current programming they've been running for the past 2 generations on radio and TVs. Star Trek, all of its incarnations. Star Wars, all of its incarnations. Stargate series, all of its incarnations. Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, all these different things have been slowly hypnotized into the world conscious for 2 generations. What do you think the world is being prepped for by doing this? Well, obviously they're giving you what it is. I mean, you have people like, what's that guy, Dr. Greer, I think his name is, that, you know, the exposure, or the revealing project, I don't remember what it was now, but, you know, they put together a panel of people that know, that had first-hand experience, that are not idiots, that are people that are, you know, some of them very high governmental positions, that know about aliens. And of course, that falls right into line with what's being programmed. Bill Nye is going to probably be one of those guys that's going to fall for that. But we, people moved by the Spirit, telling you out there what's going to happen next. We have the more sure word of prophecy. You're being told. And Jesus warned of this in Matthew 24, verse 37, that at His return, He's going to find this earth just like it was when in the days of Noah. And the days of Noah are characterized by Genesis chapter 6, verses 1 and 2, Daniel chapter 2, verse 43, David and Goliath, Joshua doing battle with all these tribes of Nephilim, Rephaim, Zimrimim, and all these people that were of the corrupted blood that finally David and his mighty men put an end to. That's going to happen again. And I do pity these people, because in their ignorance now, for their refusal to actually before they argue a point, they should have checked out the actual real studies of the scriptures and not these bullet points that they get from the liberal people that are just doing whatever they can say to shoot down the Bible, without them having any real study of the Bible either, through the eyes of the Spirit, discernment. They don't understand the Bible any more than Bill Nye does. But a lot of people are going to wake up after the rapture, because face it, millions of people disappearing. World just diving into chaos, economic collapse, war and chaos. And out of that chaos, I'm telling you world, the Antichrist is going to rise. He's going to have the answers. He's going to seem to be the go-to guy. He's going to sign a peace agreement between the many and Israel. He's going to also enforce that peace agreement because he's going to be a military leader also. 3.5 years into that 7-year peace treaty that he forced the world to go into, he's going to break his own peace treaty. 3.5 years later, Jesus Christ is going to return, put an end to things. You're going to see Christians being lined up and beheaded. They're going to take them to all these FEMA facilities, wherever they're at. I think there's something like 800 of them now in the United States. It's crazy. They're not preparing for a natural disaster. They're preparing for a supernatural assault upon the people that become believers that time that are going to lose their heads for the faith. You're going to see these things. You're going to see them. You've been told the gospel. Believe it now before you end up in a bad way. I've been told that the Romans chapter 10 verses 9 and 10 is not the gospel, but I will disagree and I'll say it is. Just as I would say that 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verses 1 through 4 is the gospel. You believe upon death, burial, resurrection, you're saved. Now, it says that you will confess it. And I believe that that verse could be a verse that's pointed to the time of the 7-year tribulation. Because you're going to be asked, well, do you take the Antichrist as your Lord and Savior and take his little mark? Which there are articles coming out now about that shows this new skin implant that adheres to the skin that bonds with it on a molecular level. That's your mark. Now, who knows if that will be it or not, but it will be something along those lines, because they're going to be able to just shut it off if you disagree with them. And you walk into the supermarket store like you do in Walmart, and when you walk through that thing and someone hasn't properly decoded or deactivated the RFID chip, it'll go dong, dong, dong. That's what that is. Only you'll probably at the cash register be stopped saying, no, we're sorry, you can't sell to you. You get on the bad side of the Antichrist wearing that mark. He can shut off your food. Don't take the mark if you're in that time period. I don't know how long these videos that I've posted or other people will be allowed to stay up. And that's why I've told you don't do the after packets, guys. We are in the time frame right now where the harvest is plentiful. True in the United States, it's pretty much been shut down and has been taken over by emergent church and false churches and cults and all these people. But worldwide, I mean, people are being converted in the Middle East by having dreams of Jesus. The Muslim nations, whether that's real or not, I don't know, but it would, if there's a place where the gospel can't go, I think that God will put the gospel there anyway. So time will tell whether that's actual real or not. But I know one thing for sure, after the rapture, that will probably be the largest amount of believers gathered in a 7-year period. I believe that will be it. And if you leave after packets behind, if say 100 million people left 100 books behind, Bibles, with end-time writings like, I'll leave links to below. I'll leave my a video up here of how to make after packets. If we could have 1 billion, 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, 400 million Bibles left behind, telling people what's going to happen. The end times timeline, second chance for salvation, oops, I guess I wasn't ready. All of these articles saying, okay, now, you saw the rapture, this is what's going to come next. You saw the rapture, you can still be saved, though you'll probably have to endure till the end and die for it. It's coming. Look over there in the Middle East, what's happening right now. Jerusalem is the burdensome stone to the entire world. The war's going to come out of it. Isaiah 17, Isaiah 19 are being fulfilled right now before our eyes. I believe these two dovetail into Psalm 83. This war will be not just in the Middle East, there will be consequences felt worldwide. Because once that takes place, and say America's drawn into that, what's North Korea going to do against South Korea? What's China going to do against Japan? All these ethnic groups that are battling each other now, it's not going to get better, it's going to get worse. Until the Antichrist comes in and puts his foot down and starts conquering people. But the whole point is, you're not going to have 7 years of peace. It's going to be constant strife, disease, landmass changes. And during that time, God's going to kill, for the denial of Christ, 2/3 of this world's population. What, 4.5 billion people gone? 5 billion people gone for denying Christ? And you know what's astounding is, once we get through all this cataclysm, Jesus Christ returns, he's sitting on the throne, he's ruled for 1,000 years, peace like this world has never seen before, as God, as prophesied from the throne of Jerusalem, throne of David in Jerusalem, in Israel. Satan will be let loose a little while. He'll go out and do the same thing he did these past 2,000 years, spread lies, everything he can do to get people to not believe upon God, Jesus Christ as God. And what's going to happen? The vast majority of this planet, once again, knowing who Jesus Christ is after having seen him rule on this planet for 1,000 years as God, are going to decide to attack him. That just blows me away. Now people don't believe in God. They'll be left behind. 1,000-year reign, people will know who he is and they'll still reject him knowing who he is. Jeez, things are going to be crazy. And I'm thanking God I'm not going to be here for that, to see that destruction from the 7-year tribulation standpoint. You've been told. You've been told. Bye.